Once upon a time, there lived a farmer who had a donkey. This donkey worked for very long years to serve his owner, carrying sacks of flour and wheat. But as the years passed, the donkey got older and lost his strength. Understanding that he lost his ability to work around the farm, one early morning he left the farm and started on a long journey.
I don't have my strength anymore, but still have my beautiful voice. I can go to Bremen and sing there for my living.
Along his way, he came across a hound dog lying on the road.
What are you doing lying down like that?
I'm a hound dog, but as I got older, I lost my speed. I cannot help my owner in hunting anymore.
Then I have an offer for you. I am going to Bremen to become a singer. Come with me. Join the band. I'll play the mandolin and you can play the drums.
The dog liked the offer, so he went along with the donkey. Not long after, they saw a cat sitting on the roof of a house along the road. The cat looked very sad.
What's up, kitty cat? You look very sad. What happened?
I'm older now. I have lost my energy to run, and I no longer have my beautiful sharp teeth. Instead of chasing mice, I sit across the fireplace and get lazy. That's why my so-called owner kicked me out of the house.
Then you should also come with us.
With you? And you're going where?
To Bremen. We're going to form a band and become singers. Cats are usually very familiar with music. You can come and play the harmonica with us.
The cat liked the offer, so off she went and joined the band. When these three rascals were passing in front of a farm, they saw a rooster crowing on a fence post.
It's nearly noon, Mr. Rooster. Why are you still crowing?
Tomorrow is Sunday. My owner's wife calls over guests on Sundays. They're planning on serving me to the guests.
Why do you keep staying here? Why don't you run away?
Where can I go? Today is my last day anyway, so I will crow until I can no more.
Okay. Don't waste your voice like this. Come with us to Bremen. We're building a band and we can use a strong voice like yours.
The rooster liked the offer and accepted it immediately. He jumped off the fence and joined their journey. The four of them hit the road together.
Let's spend the night resting in the forest. We'll continue tomorrow.
Before sleeping, the rooster went sneaking around, and from the very high point he was on,
I can see a light ahead. There should be a house very nearby.
Then let's get up and go there. I am not used to sleeping in a dark forest like this.
Yeah, and maybe I can find a bone or two to eat.
all agreed and started to walk to the place where the light came from. Finally, they arrived to a house. Being the tallest of them all, the donkey approached the window, looked inside.
What do you see, brother donkey?
What do I see? I see a beautifully set dinner table.
That's great!
I see all kinds of food and drinks on the table.
I'm already drooling.
Come on, on, let's get inside.
Wait up, I'm not finished. And I see 4 armed burglars eating and drinking at the table.
Hearing the word burglar, they all were very disappointed.
Did there have to be burglars? I was so hungry.
There's nothing to do. Let's head back to the forest.
I wish there was a way to scare these burglars away from here.
Okay, look, I have a great plan. Listen to me carefully.
Four friends formed a tower jumping on top of each other. Then, with the donkey's signal, they all started to sing. When they heard this horrible noise, the burglars jumped in the air with fear. The 4 friends broke the window and jumped inside with a big crash.
Run away! Run for your lives! Help! Run away! Run for your lives! Help!
Leaving their weapons, the burglars left the house in a panic and started running towards the woods. The 4 rascals were very happy that everything went to plan. They immediately sat on the table and started to eat the delicious food that the burglars had left behind. After the meal, they all looked for a cozy place to have a good night's sleep because they were very tired. They turned out all the lights and went to bed. It was past midnight now. The burglars had a look to see that there was no light in the house. They sent one of them to check on the house. The burglar found that it was very quiet and wanted to light up a lamp. As soon as he lit the match, the cat jumped on him and scratched his face with his claws. The dog bit his leg, waking up to all that noise. The rooster started to crow his lungs out. And just when the burglar got the chance to run out on the front porch, the donkey gave him a really strong kick with the back of his legs. Abandoned by what just happened, the burglar ran off next to the others.
In the house, there's not one but 4 monsters. They all attacked me.
The lot of them ran off without looking back and did not show the courage to come back to the house ever again. The 4 Bremen musicians really liked this house. So they all gave up on the idea of going to Bremen and decided to move in together into this lovely home where they spent all their days singing and making music. Once upon a time, there lived a little girl. This girl wore a Red Riding Hood at all times. That's why everybody used to call her Little Red Riding Hood. Darling!
Yes, Mummy?
You know your grandmother is ill. Would you take her the cookies I baked and the fresh herbs I picked from the woods?
Of course, Mummy, I will.
The little girl, with her Red Riding Hood as always, started her journey to her grandmother's house. "Do not leave the road in the bunny forest, sweetheart," said her mother as she was leaving. Little Red Riding Hood started walking in the forest while joyously singing songs.
I wonder why they call it the bunny forest. I haven't seen any bunnies along the way.
Little Red Riding Hood came to a road filled with flowers. There were all kinds of colored flowers.
I should pick some flowers for my grandmother. She'll be very pleased.
While Little Red Riding Hood was picking the flowers, she did not realize that she was drifting away from her path. At that moment, she heard a sound coming from the bushes. Suddenly, a big bad wolf approached in front of her. Little Red Riding Hood was so scared that when she saw the wolf right in front of her eyes, she dropped the basket that she was carrying. The wolf jumped closer to her and collected the cookies she had dropped from the basket and gave them back to Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood was amazed by this unexpected gesture from the wolf.
Thank you.
Where are you heading, little girl?
To my grandmother's house, the yellow house at the end of this forest. She is not feeling well, so I'm bringing her cookies and healthy herbs.
Really?
By the way, you can call me Little Red Riding Hood like everybody else does.
I'll head on first and let your grandmother know that you're on your way so that you can continue picking up your beautiful flowers.
Right at that moment, he heard a gunshot of an approaching hunter's rifle and ran away as fast as he could. Little Red Riding Hood looked around for a moment and started crying, realizing that she was lost. Hearing her crying, the hunter approached and came next to her.
What are you doing alone here, little girl? It's very dangerous around here. I'm looking for a big bad wolf whom I've been hunting for a very long time.
Little Red Riding Hood was very ashamed because she had not listened to her mother and left the road in the bunny forest. So she could not tell the hunter that she had met the wolf.
Well, I was bringing cookies to my ill grandmother living at the end of the forest and I got lost.
Let me bring you to your grandma's home then.
They started to walk together, and right then, the wolf took a shortcut and quickly made it to the grandmother's house. He knocked on the door. The grandmother yelled from inside,
Who is it?
the wolf changing his voice.
It's me, Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood. I brought you cookies and fresh herbs from the woods.
The door is open, my dear. You can come in.
The wolf smirked and stormed in through the open door. When a while later, Little Red Riding Hood and the hunter arrived at the grandmother's house.
Go on, little girl. Go next to your grandmother as soon as possible.
The hunter went back on his way. Little Red Riding Hood knocked on the door. Her grandmother yelled from inside.
Who is it?
It's me, Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood.
The door is open, my darling. You can come in.
Little Red Riding Hood hesitated for a moment, because the sound she heard did sound a little different than her grandmother. She then remembered that her grandmother was ill.
Well, Grandmother probably sounds like that because she is ill.
Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and went in. The wolf, dressed in grandmother's clothing, with her nightcap and her glasses, was lying in the bed. He also closed the drapes so that it became dark inside, and Little Red Riding Hood could not recognize him.
I thank you, darling, for all your trouble getting all the way here to bring me food. Come next to me so I can give you a hug. Come, my darling. Come closer.
Little Red Riding Hood left the basket on the floor, but she did not get too close to the bed, because her grandma looked different.
Why are your arms so long, Grandma?
So that I can hug you better.
Why are your ears so big?
So that I can hear you better.
But why are your eyes so huge?
So that I can see you better.
Why are your teeth so sharp, Grandmother?
So that I can eat you better.
The wolf jumped out of the bed and charged at the Little Red Riding Hood. At that moment, Little Red Riding Hood realized that it wasn't her grandmother lying in the bed, but instead the big bad wolf she had ran into along the way.
Help me!
The hunter heard Little Red Riding Hood scream
Help! Help me!
and ran straight to the house, stormed into the open door and caught the wolf immediately.
I finally got you, big bad wolf. Now you're in my hands.
The hunter cut the wolf's belly and rescued the grandmother.
Thank you for saving us, Mr. Hunter.
You're welcome. But promise me, little girl, that you will never forget what your mother asks of you.
With great appetite, Grandmother ate all the cookies Little Red Riding Hood had brought for her, boiled the healthy herbs to make a cup of tea, and instantly got well. Little Red Riding Hood promised her grandmother that she will never ever fall into the words of a bad wolf again. Little Red Riding Hood was walking in the forest once again, singing along merrily, as she ran into the same wolf again. The wolf was punished by the hunter to clean the forest, and he was very ashamed about what he did when he saw the Little Red Riding Hood. The bunny forest became full of joy, bunnies and flowers like it was once before.